sort of sense. But what I'm trying to get at, though, is that there's literacy, canon literacy is in part not specifically the literacy with reading or the literacy of reading specifically ancient texts, but is more the literacy, it's like a meta literacy with being okay entering unfamiliar ways of thinking or speaking. Because you are like an anthropologist when you're going through the canon, you are going into cultures that sometimes feel very similar, but also very alien. And it's specifically, they talk so different. And education today is the extreme opposite of that kind of literacy because it is so standardized. And the measure of standardized English is business emails.
Yeah, the thing is, you can go all over the world today, and you can go to any country on the planet, and wherever you are, no matter how different it might seem, you're probably in a country that's in the WTO. No, you're probably in a country that's in the IMF. You're probably in a country that has some quite close relation to post-World War II international institutions. So there's a limit to how different anything that you go look for today is going to be. There's a limit to how outside of your what you're used to, what your habits are, you can go by traveling or by learning languages or by these things are valuable to do, but there's a limit to how far you can get with any of them. There is some need, I think, to be able to enter into different time periods. The past is a foreign country in the old sense of foreign country, a sense of foreign country that we no longer really have in the kind of world that now exists. If you really want to go and have an experience abroad, because what typically will happen if you go now is you think like Japan is so different or France is so different, and then you go and well, it's capitalism. It's a little different, but yeah, it's capitalism, and it's post World War II capitalism. But if you go and read something from a genuinely different period, then this can give you other ideas. It can give you other ways of thinking, other ways of approaching, and then you can actually make a decision about do you prefer the ways of thinking that are prevailing in your present context, or do you like some of these other ideas? And then if you like some of these other ideas, well, you've got to recognize that currently in your present context, these ideas aren't able to spread or be distributed or be realized. So how would you have to change your context to get at some of these other things? And it can't simply be returning to the previous structures or institutions that existed in the past, because there were reasons historically that those institutions went away. So if you want something that you like in, say, Plato or Thomas Aquinas or whomever, you're then going to have to think about, well, what would it mean to get some version of that thing now? And see how it invites just all sorts of thinking to happen that it doesn't happen when you do the standard thing 18-year-olds do and go to Europe for 6 months. It doesn't produce the same kind of effect. There is nowhere in the world that you can go with your body that will solve this problem.
Right. Yeah, there's nowhere more alien to me than actually reading an ancient Greek or Roman.